I had somebody tell me that these glasses are the worst thing they've ever seen in the past, the present, and in future. Haters gonna hate. I like them, so whatever. Sharing my life online has been such a fascinating journey that I tried to fully embrace over the past few years. It comes with a mix of love, criticism, and a flood of opinions. There are times when I feel overwhelmed and want to quit, but ultimately, I'm doing this to inspire others to live differently in a way that feels right for them. In this video, I'm excited to take you guys along for a week of adventure as I sail through the stunning islands of Grenada, all while answering some of your questions along the way. So we're in Grenada and we're just gonna be sailing through the island chain of the Grenadines. And today I'm going to take you through what we get up to. We actually have some people coming on board and we're going to be basically teaching them how to sail, everything boat life is, the good, the bad, but mostly just show them our lifestyle so that one day if they want to get a boat, they have a better idea of how to do so. It's a little thing my dad came up with. He actually has some more openings in February if anyone is interested in coming on our boat and learning how we do everything. Just went for a morning dip. It's actually raining.
Oh, it feels so nice.
So before we started island hopping, we had a bunch of work to do, cleaning the boat and putting all the beds back together because our boat was on the hard and it was stored up, locked away, so we had to get it all ready again to sail. Alright, we have just left our anchorage and we have about a 4-hour passage ahead of us to the next island. I'm really excited to sail and start island hopping again because my dad and I have been doing a ton of boat work. We painted the bottom of the boat. So we are currently painting the holes right now. We're sweating. This is hard. Our generator stopped working, so it's just been like a really busy boat work week. I'm excited to have it feel like boat life again. Clear water, snorkeling, diving, all the things. Can't wait to bring you along.
Hands on that handle now, and just really clutching up.
So as you can see, we have our head sail out and we're just sailing along. The sea state is perfect. What are the odds? Our first time sailing. The sea is just... I love this. I've sailed a lot in the past few years, but something about this particular one was so almost holy in a way and very special. It felt very magical and we sailed into the sunset. It ended up being around a 7-hour sail to the island of Carriacou. So we have arrived in the island of Carriacou and now we are about to go diving. There's just a cool snorkel spot by where we're anchored. So diving is my favorite thing in the whole world, actually. I never have experienced more happiness than being under the ocean. No, I'm kidding, I actually have, but I'm gonna take you guys along and it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be epic. That's what I meant to say.
Cause you are my everything, and you know my mind. Oh Lord, I want to learn your love and see you show the signs to your heart, oh no. Cause you are
So I just showed you something called folding propellers, and we just installed that. Actually, my dad installed them, but when you're sailing, they fold, and that helps the boat go faster because it doesn't have the drag of the propellers just staying in a circle, which I think is really cool and very efficient and innovative. So that's one of the new upgrades we did to our boat, but it's really sad. This island got extremely destroyed by a hurricane, Beryl, I believe. The island used to be way bigger, and now there's only like a tiny strip of sand and some palm trees over there. And then the underwater part of it is destroyed. The coral is not alive and well, but it was nice to see a few lobster and fish still hanging around. Fun little diving session, and the water is beautiful. So the next day we woke up to a beautiful morning and decided to go for a day sail to an island called Union. It would be about a 1 to 2 hour sail with perfect wind on our beam, and we invited some of our friends in the anchorage to come along on our boat with us. It's so interesting coming back on the boat because last time I was here, I was sailing with my family for the past 3 years, and we had such a great community and so many boat friends, but a lot of my friends have moved on. They've gone to university, they've gotten a house, they sold their boat, and so this time around I'm not here as long, but it's also different, and it kind of shows me how community is really everything. And yeah, you have great days on a boat, but the people are what makes this experience so fulfilling for me. So it's not really like that anymore, but it's good being back with my dad and showing people how to sail. We're sailing. We are powered by the wind. We're going about 6.5, 7 knots. After another lovely sail, we arrived at Union Island and we're the only boat in the whole anchorage. Then one thing you always do when you anchor a boat is check the anchor or dive on it, because you never know if it's fully dug in or if it's dragging. So yesterday, Zatara came to our anchorage and we got to swim over and say hi to them. I saw Finn this summer. We went to their cabin, Bryce and I. Yeah, I got to meet Jack's new girlfriend. She's a really nice human being, so happy for them, and missing Bryce. We are going back to mainland Grenada. It should be about 2 hours. It's great, I don't know what else to say.
All right, we're gonna anchor up.
Forward. Just chill out for a second so we can see where the chain is.
No, keep sailing.
It's dead the battery signs, just leave it around the deck.
Alright, so it is the evening time now, and I thought it would be the perfect time to answer some of your questions that I've been asked lately. So I'm just gonna rapid fire some. What are your plans for the rest of the year and the beginning of next year? I'm actually going to Bali in a week and a half with my boyfriend for my group trip that I'm hosting, and after that I am wanting to have some time to learn how to ski. I snowboard right now, and so I want to transition into skiing. And then in February, that's the next big thing, Bryce and I and his brother have planned to bike pack Patagonia, start at the top of Chile, and then bike all the way down to Patagonia. It should take around a month, and then we'll stop and hike and do a bunch of crazy fun things in between. I'm excited for that. That's gonna be my next massive adventure. How do you convince your parents to let you travel alone? I have actually never really had to convince them because we've lived such a abnormal lifestyle. I think it was almost expected that I would leave and travel and want to go places because that's kind of how I've grown up. What's your advice to someone who wants to start traveling but doesn't know where to start? I would say start small. So, weekend camping trips or hikes a few hours away and then work your way up. How do you finance your trips? From YouTube, brand deals, and random odd jobs like I invest in cows. That's a random one. And then I'm also working for my dad right now, teach people how to sail. What's something you value in relationships? I really like this one. The two things are communication and trust. Any plans about going to college? So I think this was the most asked question out of all of them, which is kind of interesting, but right now, no, just because I don't really know what I'm wanting to do yet. But if I have a reason to go to college, I might. How to buy a perfect camera for vlogging. I started out with the Sony ZV-1. It's a perfect little small camera and it worked great for me. And then I transitioned to the Sony A6700. What are some of your travel goals? Hiking to Machu Picchu in Peru, summiting Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, going to Antarctica, and sailing in Norway. What did you enjoy more, boat life or mountain/van life? I really love the mountains. I feel like I have a very deep connection in both boat life and in the mountains. So it's really hard for me to choose, but these next few years I'm gonna be more in the mountains and climbing and hiking and doing things like that. But I would also like to transition to maybe having a boat of my own someday in the next few years. That also transitions me into the next question of where do you see yourself in 5 years? So I'll be 24. I could see myself married, and I could also see myself having maybe a really small boat that I could have fun sailing in some cool part of the world, potentially. How is your relationship with your parents now after moving away? So honestly, it was strained for a little bit when I moved away. A bunch of things went into that, and that was really hard. Over the last few months of being back together, it's been a lot better. What do your parents do for work? They are, like I said, doing this boat life training experience and making money from that. They also have some rental properties where they earn passive income, and then they also do content creation on Instagram and TikTok and earn money from that. Advice for someone about to start cruising for the first time. So I hated it for the first couple months. I absolutely hated it. It's actually crazy how far I've come and fallen in love with it. So I would say just give yourself grace. You might have the worst days of your life, and you might have the best days of your life. Just know that the days ahead might be hard, but they will get better. How do you feel safe while traveling alone? So I always make sure that I'm not completely alone, that there's people around me on trains. I try to kind of fit in, I guess you could say, just because that stuff scares me. My biggest fear, which is another question, is actually being abducted by a man. I don't know, it really creeps me out. How long are you staying on the boat? So for this time, it's nearly a month. I have other plans like going to Bali for my group trip, but I'll definitely be back. My parents are planning on sailing to the Bahamas, and so I want to do spearfishing and diving and stuff like that. Do you think your mentality has changed since living on a boat and getting to travel so much? 100%. Day and night difference, I would say. More open-minded and travel-oriented. Closest call with a shark. Our friend got his arm bit by a shark, and my mom had to sew him up for 7 hours with the help of some other boat friends in the Ragged Islands, which is a very remote island chain in the Bahamas. I had a shark come at me, and I had to poke my spear pole at it to send it away. What is the most important thing you learned from traveling? Traveling in general, I think, is such a big way for us young adults transitioning into this next season of life to kind of become confident and independent. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys come back next Sunday to see what we're up to next. Goodbye.